Yeah,
all I
I
can
mean,
say.
we also just were like living our best lives like all the time back then. Like, I just feel like
Hmm.
I went into pandemic young still, and I just came
Sure.
out of it like in my midlife crisis era.
No, I just, I'm not gonna. I don't want us to get canceled before we are done with the first episode.
I
So
haven't been canceled. It would be you that get canceled, and then I would be like, and we're on to season 3.
I know that I'm speaking into a microphone.
You are speaking into a microphone, that is correct. And that is your
Microphone. What do you think our audience is going to be? What's your prediction?
oh god, I have no idea. I was so wrong last time.
But I'm with you. I love learning about things and teaching myself and learning from mistakes. So I think this is a awesome thing. And I want everyone else to make mistakes with us along the way.
Okay. Okay.
Did you like that little pitch?
I really liked it. That was really beautiful. That can be your
Awesome.
catchphrase.
To make mistakes with us. I'm gonna write that down right next to red is bad. We just
Okay.
change it to we're sad now instead of we're experts.
We're sad now.
And I wanted to correct you in that time because it sounds like you're terrible at playing. And I know that's not true.
So I waited 20 minutes to tell you that you were wrong, but remember that time you were wrong?
I have such a weird sense of humor. This is why I feel like I'm just weird. We
You're
can
just
talk
an
about
East
it in another
Coaster. That's
episode.
what you are.
Yeah, surprise everyone. I'm from the East Coast.
Hi, everyone. I hope you've been staying curious out there. I know it's been kind of like a little bit of a We're Experts Now hiatus. I kind of hinted at this at the beginning of the last episode, but We're Experts Now has gone through a change. We're in new places, we're doing new things, but we have old friends with us. So, Ben, who you remember from a past episode, who's been here before, has been lovely enough to join us on what we're now calling season 2 of We're Experts Now. How's it going, Ben? Hi, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for that marvelous introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited to be here. I love pretending to know things. And so, yeah, it's my favorite thing. And thank you for thinking of me for this. This is super exciting.
I mean, you really just showed interest. It was my birthday and I was intoxicated. And I was like, you know what? I don't want the podcast to end. I'm not ready for it. And you were like, yes. And then, we realized that you probably have a lot of skills that are like helpful. Like, you know, a lot more about like brand and like so many things that I'm not as technically qualified or good at.
I'm a jack of all trades, but when you just described how this came up, it literally sounded like a one night stand type of thing where like I was drunk and like went home with you and then turned over and realized what did I do wrong?
Podcast instead. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will say that like when we started to working together, I was like totally like, I mean, like not really in love with you because I like am not like into chasing gay dudes, but
Sure.
I was just like, we would be perfect together if he wasn't gay. Like you were just like, we'd go on walks every day. Like you were such a good coworker.
I know. I miss those times. Those was pre-COVID times.
Yeah, I mean, things seemed like so much simpler back then. Like I was definitely pre-mental breakdown. Like I hadn't like you came on to work when I was like going through my breakup and like was about to start my mental breakdown, but I worked all the time and then just went clubbing. That's all I did. It was a fun life. I traveled everywhere and just went clubbing the rest of the time. I miss those days.
Yeah, you just described, I feel like, what I imagine everyone in LA does.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what everyone thinks about California in general. I will say that I think my favorite moment of you of all time, do you know what I'm going to say? It's when you slid across the dance floor on your knees.
Oh my God. You're never going to let me live that up.
That was the most impressive thing. Like you were getting down so hard and then I just like look over and you're just like sliding across the dance floor on your knees. And I was like, that is like from a movie. That is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Hey, when the music is good and the alcohol hits right, it's just a vibe.
Yeah,
all I
I
can
mean,
say.
we also just were like living our best lives like all the time back then. Like I just feel like
Hmm.
I went into pandemic young still, and I just came
Sure.
out of it like in my midlife crisis era.
Yeah,
So
I think we all did. All of us millennials.
speaking
Now
of
I'm like,
midlife
yeah.
crisis, my mom's going like to Bottle Rock, and I cannot understand why at 72 my mother wants to go to like a 20-year-old festival.
I mean, I think they have a lot of artists that like go span across
Ed
different
Sheeran.
generations.
Yeah,
It's not like Coachella.
I know, but I'm like, it's Ed, like it's going to be so many people. She's in her 70s. She doesn't like people that much. Like
Okay.
not enough to like be at a festival with them. And I'm like, Mom,
Yeah.
everyone's going to be drunk. My mom doesn't drink. So like I'm
Oh,
like,
that's
Mom,
unfortunate.
everyone's going to be drunk. You're going to be there for the headliner, Ed Sheeran. So like girls are going to be
She's only
topless.
going for Ed Sheeran.
I don't know. Yeah, she said we were only going to go for the headliner. I was like, so her friend got mad at me today.
Hmm.
They were together and was like, why did you tell your mom that she wouldn't like Bottle Rock?
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God.
because I know she wouldn't like Bottle Rock, Sydney. Do not bring my
That's.
mom to a festival.
I can't believe she likes Ed Sheeran. I've
No,
never
my
met your
mom.
mom, but
Oh no, my mom like she loves Alicia Keys. Like she loves like
okay.
R&B and like soul and like funk and like Ed Sheeran's like kind of like in that genre. So
Is
like
he?
my mom goes to like more young people concerts than I do, but it's usually like Alicia Keys and like jazzy and
Yeah,
bluesy.
I would not describe any of those words as Ed Sheeran.
I don't know what the fuck is he.
I don't know, pop,
Okay,
annoying.
sure. There's some music of his I like. It's
I
hit and miss with me.
This is terrible for me, but I just don't like him based on how he looks.
And that's how okay. I am well.
You can edit that out.
It's because he's a ginger.
No, I'm not gonna. I don't want us to get canceled before we are done with the first episode. So
I haven't been canceled. It would be you that get canceled, and then I would be like, and we're on to season 3.
Yeah, you can edit that out. But no, I just
Oh,
don't
I'm
care
not
for him.
editing that out. Oh, no.
Oh, okay, cool.
Bad.
You know, Bad Habits came on my Spotify, and I'm like, oh, I like this song. And then I saw it was Ed Sheeran, and I was like, damn it. Well, I saved it anyways because I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, some of his music's good. I get it. Like, yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Ben,
Yes.
your first episode, we've already tangented for a good decent of it. We're going to talk about podcasting today because I know I talked about this a little bit with Rebecca in the last episode about like kind of our tips and tricks and what we learned over it. But I feel like since you are new to the podcasting game, we might put in some clips of the earlier trying to get you set up. We did
Sure.
miss the great microphone fiasco of 2024, where Ben just could not get his microphone and audio and input and output set up. Really, really down. And I'm going to be real, I was minimal help. I was like, ooh, try turning it off and did you
Try
unplug
restarting your computer. Yeah.
which is generally my level of help. So we're going to talk about podcasting today. Do you know anything about podcasting?
I know how to spell Audacity now.
Okay.
And I know that the line should not go. I wrote down red is bad. And so if the lines go touch it and it's red, it's bad. I know that I'm speaking into a microphone.
You are speaking into a microphone. That is correct. And that is your
microphone.
No. What is it? Your input or your output?
Oh, God. I know this is a true or false question. It is my input.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Inputting. I had to.
You had to think about it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I'm tired as usual.
Cool.
It's Sunday. Okay, so yes, you got that right. You've really thrived in the podcasting game so far.
So I'm like a keeper this far. It feels like an interview.
You are okay. If this was an interview, I would have ended it already.
Really, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for your time. No, it was really great to get to know you. No, I don't need more than the 12 minutes. No. That's happened to me before, where I was like, no, 12 minutes is enough. Thank you.
Where you've interviewed someone or you've been on the other side?
No, I'm a great interviewee. What the fuck are you talking about? I obviously am interviewing somebody for 12 minutes and know that they're not a good fit.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, that's,
so,
okay.
If this was an interview, you would have already failed.
Perfect.
Now I'm going to get canceled. You're like, it's his first time, and you're just like dragging him. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I love being dragged. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. Okay. All right. Here's how we podcast. First off, you got to figure out what you're podcasting about, Ben. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good call. You got to figure out what you're podcasting about, right? Are you doing true crime? It's interesting because I did not want to do the type of podcast that I listened to. I had absolutely zero interest in doing true crime. I was like, I don't want to read about that all day. It sounds awful. So I picked something that I actually don't really listen to any podcasts that are like kind of like topical and educational. I guess I listen to a couple, but they're not my main squeezes. But you figure out what you like want to talk about. And I think for me, when Rebecca and I were originally brainstorming ideas, it kind of came from this idea where, how I'm I'm always interested in something. I have a lot of questions. I'm just curious. And I like want to like Google it. I want to find out. And I was like, that's just like, why don't we just do that every episode? Right. And include people on the show. Because I also like, often when I'm Googling something, I'm the person that's wrong in the room. It's not about always being right. Like, it's also just like, I love learning. So I think that's the first step, is finding out what you're passionate about, what you're good at, what you conceivably talk about infinitely in the future.
So here's a question. All right. So why don't you want to do stuff that you listen to? Because if you're passionate about true crimes, it seems like, oh, that makes sense.
I think I've always like kind of had this belief of like, I don't want to like ruin the things that I enjoy. Like, I used to really love photography, and people would be like, why don't you become a photographer? And I was like, because I like doing it. Same thing with painting. People are like, why don't you just paint? And I'm like, because the second that like I start doing that, like, it's no longer for enjoyment, right? Like, I think I love learning. And so to me, it made sense that I would want to continually do this. But it's like, it's not as like committed to like one genre where I only like talk about that, right? Like, and I love true crime listening to it, but I just don't think I'd want to read about it like all day, like a full-time job.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. I get that.
Cool. Okay. Then you're going to define your audience, Ben, which I think is really interesting. And like Rebecca and I talked about this on the last episode, like what I thought would be our audience is actually like not what it is. Like, it'll be interesting to see what happens now with a male co-host, because we had like more like a majority male listeners, like almost 60% to like 40% males to female. Which like I was like, oh, like most women listen to podcasts. Like, I thought it would all be Americans because we're American. Like, no, it's like dudes from the UK. Like, what up, guys? Love you. Like, thank you. But
can you do that in their language though, please? Can you say that again in their language?
Pip pip chariot. I cannot. No, I'm so sorry. Please don't cancel me again.
No. I thought
Ben, I don't know if this partnership's gonna work.
It was better than me.
I really can't do accents. It's not. I've never. And I'm good at like identifying, but I cannot. And yeah, I'm not. It's not something.
No, same.
So you define your audience because you got to figure out what your audience is going to listen to, right? It's like kind of interesting because like now that I think about it, yeah, like it makes sense. I feel like there's like in the UK, there's a lot of people, it's cold in the winter, and maybe you want to like listen to something while you're doing like indoor activities where, a lot of like, I kind of figured we'd have a lot of people from California. Nope. It's really spread out. Like, it was really different. So you define your audience, and then you over time figure out, is that actually who your audience is?
What do you think our audience is going to be? What's your prediction?
Oh God, I have no idea. I was so wrong last time. I feel
Uh,
like
oh yeah,
I
because you
think
thought
that
females.
yeah, I was like, well, we'll either we might like get more females and less men because there's less chicks like to look at right now. There's 50% less chicks and
Hmm.
100% more males now,
Sure,
right? Like
sure.
that's girl math for you. No, that's accurate math. But so like maybe we get like a lot more female listeners. Maybe we get a lot more. It's weird I was going to say queer listeners, but like Rebecca was
Mhm.
queer. So like
Sure.
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it gets younger because like the young kids are cool with the Ben. Ben is hip and
I'm not. That's
styling.
not. No one has ever used that word to describe me. What if we lose listeners, and then you guys get? That's another reason to fire
You
me.
know what? I think you're right. Rebecca was cool and she was young, so I feel like our listenership is just going to get older. It's going to age. Like
So
a
wait, I'm
fine
not
wine.
cool.
I said you were cool and you said no. And then you got
You
mad
said
at me
hip.
for saying you're not cool.
Well, I don't usually get those words to describe me.
Yeah.
So I was shocked.
Shooketh. I was shooketh.
Shook it.
You got that, Riz. So the
What's
next
that
thing is
mean? See, I bet.
it's like
I don't know this.
charisma. Charisma. I even know that one. Okay.
Uniqueness. I know. Yeah. Go
Next
ahead.
thing is choosing the right equipment, Ben. And as we were
Mm,
just talking about, you have a microphone, which is your input, and you
yep.
also have headphones on. I have a lot of other stuff that you do not have right now, which if
Oh yeah.
you commit to podcasting, you might buy. So I have a separate microphone. Hello. No wait, that's a camera. That's not a microphone. I have a separate camera. I have a preamp, which my microphone plugs into, because my
Mm-hmm.
microphone can actually
Ooh, it comes out.
I can walk around. This is like an arm, so like this all plugs into a preamp,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which then plugs into my computer. What else do I have? Oh,
You have
and
a
then I
cat
have
tree. Do I have to get a cat tree?
you do have to get a cat tree. None of my cats are here though. And then I have a lot of editing software. So as we kind of mentioned, we're recording right now in Zencaster. That is the platform that we use. I guess shout out to you, plug to you, Zencaster. We record here. I edit and like what is it? iMovie. What is this software? Whatever comes on your Apple computer. Yeah, iMovie is what I edit on video on. You can edit audio in Audacity. We record in Audacity. Rebecca used to edit audio in Audacity. I don't know if that we're going to do that continuing into the future because it's a lot of work to edit audio and video.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you need a lot of like memory because you have all of your audio files, all of your video files, you have your intros, you have your
Mm.
outros, you have your written content. So there's a Google Drive as well. And then I have a really nice computer with 8 terabytes of storage, which I
I
save
do not
everything.
have that.
No, no, because I was gonna run my MacBook Air into the ground if I continued to try and edit on there because it was just destroying it. So I just bought that like a year and a half ago. I don't want to buy another laptop in the next like 5 years. So
Yeah.
another computer because that's the smart thing to do.
I think it's a smart thing to do. I don't have it, so I'm just going to store everything up here.
You are, and I'm gonna do as you get like more into everything. I'm gonna ease you into this. Like you're not gonna
Right.
edit for probably a long time,
Okay.
but we'll have other tasks for you. You'll like it.
I love it.
Then like the kind of next things you're doing, you're obviously like you're recording and editing like what we just talked about, and then you kind of start with your like publishing, promoting your podcast. This is where I like actually think that like you with your UX design has a lot more knowledge on like what people use, what people like, how someone goes through a thing, because I'm going to be real, like our social media is just kind of chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how to do it. Rebecca didn't want to do it after a certain point. It kind of became my responsibility and I'm not good at it, right? So I think for me, like it becomes very like basic, which I know for so many people that's social media is how you get your break, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've leaned into YouTube advertising too, which has been helpful, but I think it's hard to really figure out what you're good at, how you market it. That's been like the hardest part for me personally. And
Mm-hmm.
then you kind of just launch it, right? So we use Buzzsprouts, which there's a lot of different applications out there that you can use, but it's like a website that you know pay a membership to, and they post to Apple Music, to iHeartRadio, to the all the different channels that you can, Spotify, everything that you can kind of listen to podcasts on. They source it onto there for you, right? And then they'll
Oh,
track
that's
how
nice.
many listens you have, what countries you're from. YouTube, then, like, we put everything on YouTube. I can then see, like, oh, our demographics are from what country. This is who's listening, this is what time they're listening. I actually love that data. I find that
Oh, me too.
so interesting.
Yeah.
um but that's kind of like start to finish, like the big important things. Like, and then like a lot of things that podcasters really struggle with, like poor audio quality. Like Rebecca used to like hammer this into me, is like having a quiet room makes the editing so much faster. Also having the right
Mm-hmm.
tools to do it, right? Like if you start out with good video and good audio, which is kind of why in the beginning I was like back up, because if I have more space to cut out, then I can put like our guests face like right here, right? And
Yeah.
but if we're right in front of it, right, then it's much harder for me to have like room for a guest and my face. That's
You
going
also
to
just
be
kind of wanted to show your boobs a little bit, didn't you?
just it's just no. But that's really what like comes down to like making good audio, and that's like some of the hardest things, because the worse your audio is, the more time it takes, and it's exhausting.
Yeah.
um Lack of planning, I think that's obviously something that I've always been really good at, like figuring out timings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Inconsistent schedule. I'm sorry, folks. We used to be so good at doing once a week. That is something to kind of mention. I think as we move into this year, we're going to do different formats for how our episode runs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to have as many experts on it. Ben and I are going to be becoming experts ourselves and doing notes, kind of how you're seeing today.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we're going to try and get more consistent as we go into the new year. I think instead of doing a weekly episode, we're going to do twice a month or every 2 weeks. So we can kind of get time to breathe. And then if we really like are getting good response from everyone, we'll kind of step that up. But it's a lot of work the way that we were running the podcast before. And that was kind of like a rookie mistake. Rebecca and I were doing almost 2 full episodes by doing the pre-episode without the expert and then having the expert on. It was doubling work. It was a lot of work to get experts scheduled and on, and if somebody misses out something, it just became really complicated. So yeah, like planning and having a consistent schedule, engaging with your audience is super important. Again, like that's where social media comes in, which I have been not as good at. Um, and then trying to please everyone, right? I think at a certain point, I think Rebecca and I leaned away from like our opinions, sometimes because they're like maybe more liberal than others, right? So I think that you can't make everyone happy. You have to just try and make as many people happy in your group as you want and make those people happy, right? Like figure out who our audience is, and we're going to be reworking that in the future. But I think those are some of like the biggest mistakes or kind of tips people have when you first get into the business.
Yeah. That all seems really easy.
Yeah. I made it sound easy, then I have not been explaining this right, let me tell you.
I think you're an expert now.
Oh, I'm not an expert now. You're going to be an expert now.
Oh, I'm so excited to be an expert at this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna knock it out of the ballpark.
I think you're going to be really good at it. I think it's going to be really fun. I think, I've really enjoyed the podcast game. And I think you will too. We'll see though. Maybe you won't. Maybe you go running away in the night and then it's just me and my cats for season 3.
Oh my god, I would honestly listen to that.
It's just me having a one-way conversation.
Talking about photography and art. That would be such. Oh my god, that. Honestly, I want to see a documentary about that, but
he's only licking his belly, not his butthole yet.
Not yet. He's not flexible enough yet.
Oh no, he is. He's just not doing it on camera. Now I'm covering him up. Got it. His private moment.
I mean, no, share it with everyone.
Okay. What have you learned?
All right. This is my shining moment, everyone.
This is your shining movement.
My what'd you say? My movement.
Yeah, your shining movement.
Perfect. I just also want to reiterate that red is bad.
Red is bad and Audacity.
It's like the biggest thing on my page.
Because that means you're peaking. And you don't want to peak because what happens? So like when I talk like this, I can turn up the volume in editing, right? And so I can make you be able to hear it in editing. When I'm talking really loud like this, the quality gets really bad.
How come you're like, oh, there we go. Oh, no, that's me talking.
Well, because your volume on your AirPods is probably turned up. That's what I think. You need to turn the volume down on your computer. Because what you want your volume at is like 3/4.
Sure. Okay. Should I do that now? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now?
Well, why would your volume affect the way that I could hear you then?
Oh, got it. Okay. Again, it's like input output. I was confused. All right. Let's go over this.
Okay.
First thing, you have to just figure out what your podcast is about. Yeah, you don't want to do something that you already are passionate about because then you lose that passion for said podcast.
That's not good advice. That's just what I did.
I know, but but I think it makes sense. Like if I'm a chef and I work all day to do chefery things, like I'm not going to come home and chef for myself.
But I think it depends, right? Like if you want to brand yourself as a chef and you're trying to market your chef business, then a podcast on cooking is a good idea. I got into the podcast game because I work in corporate business and I feel like I lost my voice and my own creativity. Like we started at, a startup. I had a much larger voice and like direction and where that company went, even though I wasn't there that long because it was so small. At this big corporation, I have absolutely no voice. That's just what happens. I'm not high enough up. No one cares about what I think. I just got to get the job done. So I definitely wanted to do something that was like for me. And I don't think I really knew what I was doing. I think I just picked something that Rebecca and I could agree on.
But I'm with you. I love learning about things and teaching myself and learning from mistakes. So I think this is a awesome thing. And I want everyone else to make mistakes with us along the way. Okay. Did you like that little pitch?
I really liked it. That was really beautiful. That can be your catchphrase.
To make mistakes with us? I'm going to write that down right next to red is bad. Mistakes. With us. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. The next thing is find your audience. Are they under a rock? Are they
hopefully they're not
in the next county over? Are they in another country? How are they babies? Are they senior citizens? Are they teachers? Find them and reach them. God,
That's really creepy. I should have never done that.
What?
The reaching, I didn't like it.
I don't like it either. Like, I don't have 3D glasses on. Can you imagine if someone had 3D glasses on watching this on YouTube and they get so scared? Like, your hands are reaching out through the screen, your boobs are poking them in the eyes. It's a nightmare.
Some might like that, okay, then? Some might like that. And if you do, please call me because I am single and lonely. Thank you.
Okay. Great. I see we're killing two birds with one stone with this podcast, so.
Listen. If we could get me married through this podcast, I could finally prove my mom wrong. Okay.
Aw. I feel like now we have to transition to a therapy session. We have a lot to
That's
unpack.
also why I started doing the podcast.
So you can meet other eligible.
Oh, for therapy.
Bachelors?
I couldn't afford therapy
Yes.
anymore, so I just
Mine was
started
$20
talking about.
until they dropped me, so that was fun.
Oh, I broke up with you.
Their
too.
contract ran out, so now I got to find a new therapist. Lucky me. Anyways, moving on. You love this for me. You love me being a hot mess.
No, I love that.
I mean,
you're
who
in therapy
doesn't?
working on yourself. We've
I always
always
work
been
on
a hot
myself.
mess together. This is what we
I
bonded
know.
over.
So nice. I love it. I feel like as I get older, I'm just going to get hotter and messier.
Well, that's because you're a gay man and you do get to get hotter as you're older. I'm going to get uglier and messier.
That's not true.
Let's not lie to me.
Okay. But that's not true. You have to really work hard.
But
yeah. Okay.
Okay, what are we doing after we define our audience? After we defined and then find.
Stop. Oh, yes. Oh, I saw. Oh, God, I strike
Did you
Ben.
tell me to stop?
No, it's me. Oh, it's all me. You have to define them first and then find them.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, define them. I don't think we're going to be really.
That's literally
hot.
what you said.
Oh, is it? We'll have to go back and listen. I don't remember. But I don't think that babies will be our number one audience, so we could probably scratch them out. Okay.
We can probably scratch them out. Because I swear so much, we are an 18 and older show.
I don't know if I've sworn that much actually in this episode. Like I'm pretty bad. Once I start drinking, it can be bad.
I swear in pretty much every episode. And then the one that really didn't do us well was like we did an episode on like working in the morgue, and like YouTube tried to like ban it for a second, and I was like,
why?
Because I tried to name it I See Dead People.
That's funny.
And YouTube didn't like that title.
You should have. It's probably. Do you think it's copyrighted because it's from?
No, it was like this is too dark, basically.
Oh, God. Thanks
it
a
violated
lot.
its like moral rules or something. I was like, fuck off. Okay.
Did you spell it SEA? I bet you could have gone around it. Okay. All right. Anyways,
that's why we need you.
I know, because I can spell.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Actually, I can because I couldn't spell Audacity. Okay, sorry. Equipment is the next thing. You want to have good equipment. I'm a basic bitch, so I probably will have basic equipment. Also, my desk is not that big. But depending on how everything goes, who knows? Maybe I'll get a bigger desk.
Oh, that would be committed.
Mm-hmm. I just got a second monitor only because Caleb no longer needed it. So there we go.
Okay. I love to spend money, so I have a full setup.
I'm the opposite. I'm a cheap bitch, and so I got this microphone from my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at my desk about things. That's really it. Oh, I sold this one caddy, this pencil caddy that I have on my desk from my other job that will rename.
That's
jobless.
Not equipment that you need to microphone, that you need to podcast. That's just
what
you have on your desk.
I guess I won't need highlighters. I guess I'll have to return them.
No, you can use them for other things.
Like drawing on my face. We can do that one podcast, how to draw on your face.
Okay,
that's terrible.
Not going to get us any viewers.
Fine.
This is going back to the audience and knowing it and finding it. You know what? There might be a coloring on your face audience. Maybe we don't cross out those babies.
I think it's a fetish. No, we already crossed out babies. We're not having babies. They're not our audience. Gross.
Okay.
One of the things though that I didn't even think of that counted as equipment is memory. And that is computer memory. Honestly, when you first mentioned memory, I honestly thought it was memory in my head. And I was like, no. I didn't even think about that. But
on a computer.
Now I get it. So
I might even be saying it wrong. Like memory is storage, I think.
I think so. I know that you can store memories away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Cool.
And one day this will also be a memory. Right now.
It depends how much I drink tonight. Um,
Drank so much, blacked out the entire day.
Today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
You forget the pre-drinking. That's so much drinking that you forget the day prior to the alcohol.
Oh, yeah. I know. Well, it's because I'm sick today, so I haven't been drinking, and I've just been laying in the sun drinking tea. I honestly feel a lot better. I'm just really nasally. Anyways, I know that's not what you audience care about. You like that? All right.
No.
The next thing, you didn't like it.
No.
Oh, why?
This is not the time to talk about our feelings. What is it?
Oh my god. We should just change it to we're sad now instead of we're experts.
We're sad now.
That could just be a sad, like an emoji sad face. All right. The next thing is publishing and promoting your podcast.
Recording and editing, and then publishing and promoting.
You honestly didn't mention that in the entire process now that I'm thinking about it.
I am going to go back and edit it and make sure that I did.
I don't think you did. But that would make sense. You can't publish anything if you don't have anything.
That's what I was talking about. What were we recording on?
Oh, and all I wrote down was Zencastr, iMovie, and Buzzsprout.
That is the recording and the editing. That is the recording and the editing part of it. The bi-monthly is the publishing and promoting.
Yes, I know. I'm just writing down the words that I have on my page.
It's active listening. I know. You don't like it.
Yes. I am a very good active listener. Very good listener sometimes. It depends how much I've been drinking. All right. So after we record and do our shenanigans, we have to publish and promote it via social media. Is YouTube considered social media?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you do stuff on YouTube too, like you share our pretty faces, our mediocre voices, and other things.
Uh-huh. Other things.
Marketing. Yeah. I also wrote down marketing, but I know that's grouped under publishing and promoting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
Sweet. Awesome. I'm nailing it.
You did it.
That
was all the big part.
Yes. So one thing I wanted to double check on, you mentioned lack of planning, and you said this is something I'm really good at. And I wanted to correct you in that time because it sounds like you're terrible at planning. And I know that's not true.
So I waited 20 minutes to tell you that you were wrong, but remember that time that you were wrong? So yes, you are absolutely correct. I mentioned what was in my notes and then had a thought out loud.
And it should just be, the next thing is planning. This is something I'm really good at.
Well, I was going through some tips and trips, right? And so
tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks. I did mean to say that, but I slurred and I am not drunk. But most people struggle with the planning portion. Like if you listen to a lot of episode, like a lot of different podcasts, like when they're kind of starting out and they're amateur podcasters, they're like, oh, we get an episode out on this day and then we wait 2 weeks. It the ability to plan forward, because I'm an event planner by trade, is something I'm naturally very good at, of looking at the schedule and be like, oh, if we want to have an episode on this day, we need to actually realistically record it a month beforehand so we can actually have all of that content edited, put together, write you have to write the content, any social media clips, all of that. So the planning of it is probably one of the things most people struggle with, but yes, I am very good at the planning.
Yes, you are. I also feel like I'm good at planning because I'm an anal person. So, I'm sure we'll be awesome at it.
Yeah.
I have no concerns there. You're what?
I love that for me.
Okay. What about me? Why don't you love it for me?
Well, because you're just starting on this process and you're not frustrated.
Your bar is set really low. Oh, I'm not frustrated.
Bex is a pretty organized person, but I don't think she pre-plans. It's actually kind of interesting. I think she's generally a more organized person than I am. Like her house is very tidy. Like she keeps things a certain way. I'm a little chaotic, but I like
Sure.
pre-plan my day. I pre-plan my meetings. I look at my schedule for tomorrow, figure out everything that needs to be done today. Like, right. Like, so I think that was something that she struggled with. Cause like we would always like get on and like she would like need to figure this out or that out. And I'm always like on 10 minutes early, like have everything the way I want it. But that's,
Mm-hmm.
so I love this for me because I think you're a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more like anal like me. And so
Mm-hmm.
you probably will like it'll be nice because we don't have that difference in personalities. But we'll find
Yeah.
out what our struggles are
Oh,
soon.
we'll definitely fight at some point. I'm looking forward to
Oh,
that because my therapist told me it's okay to fight.
it is okay to
Although you
fight.
and I are
Yeah.
both people pleasers, so maybe we'll just
Yeah.
be so
Hmm.
please
No, we'll be passive
happy.
aggressive. That's what will happen.
I live for that. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be
I don't
passive
live for
aggressive
that.
with you. Oh,
No,
okay.
please don't. I
Great.
wanna I
I mean,
wanna
it could
communicate
be worse. We could
effectively.
be aggressive, but we
No,
won't go there.
let's just communicate
All right.
effectively.
Next thing is, which I think is kind of also grouped in with marketing, but I'm saying it out of order, is engaging social media.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying it. I
Um,
think that's the right order. I think you did that.
okay, great, awesome. I can't wait to engage with social media because I'm really good at it. I post a
You
lot
are.
of memes that I didn't come up with, um,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
people will reach out, and then I will ignore them.
Yeah, that's great. I
So
am good
that's
at responding. I'm not good at the initial posting. So I'm
got it.
glad that we can have this caveat to
Yeah.
that.
Great,
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And the next one is the final thing, most important, is try to please everyone.
Yep, every day. Every day. And
I mean, that's what I do in my
think
life.
about relive every moment that you didn't please everyone at the end of the day. Just relive that in your head just constantly and tell yourself how bad you are for not making everyone happy. That is actually the best advice to being a successful podcaster.
100% agree. This is what keeps me up at night is, I really fucked up that relationship, or that's honestly it.
I'll be real, I've actually like since podcasting have the exact opposite experience because
Oh,
I used to
okay.
relive so much and now I'm like, well, I have 48 episodes out there and like really no one said much to me. So like
Sure.
I guess not many people care, right? Like I think you think that everyone's constantly looking and waiting for you to do something wrong, where I think most of the
Yep.
time people are like living their own lives and they don't even notice what you're saying. And like most people are more willing to like, I don't know, we've gotten some nasty comments, but like it's always like somebody like hateful. And I'm just like, I don't really take that
I
person.
honestly can't wait for those comments because I don't care what people say, and that's not true because I do like keep myself up at night, but I just can't wait to like read them because it fuels my fire to like try to be funnier in a sad way.
It's gonna get so awkward on this because you are so mopey sometimes, and I am such like a like.
Oh no, this is why I have like such a weird sense of humor. This is why I feel like I'm just weird. We
You're
can
just
talk
an
about
East
it in another
Coaster. That's
episode.
what you are.
Yeah, surprise everyone. I'm from the East Coast.
It's
Also,
Pennsylvania, right? Are you from
yeah,
Pennsylvania?
yeah,
Okay, I was like, I
but
think I remember that.
it's the video of you keeps freezing occasionally, and so like I'll say something and I won't hear you for a second. I was like, did I just say something bad? And then it
No.
picks up, and you're usually laughing or look uncomfortable.
Yeah, you'll learn to like. There'll be times where the audio is off, and like you kind of just have to get through the rest of the episode. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Whereas I'll just be like, can I interrupt for a second, or can you stop talking so I can say something?
I would like to talk now, please.
I would like. Can I raise my hand? I just tried to raise my hand. My hand got stuck in the.
It's not Zoom. You cannot
cord.
raise your hand.
I don't know. There's a hand little icon here. What's this? What's that do?
Oh my god, I don't know what it
Toggle
is.
raise hand.
I did.
See?
Oh, we can raise our hands. Well, I don't see your hand. You wait. You raise your hand.
It's because I didn't raise it because I knew what it was.
Can you see me raise my hand?
Yeah, and then the whole screen like goes boop.
Okay, wait. You do it now. I want to see it. Oh, that's kind of fun. Okay.
Yeah,
I learned something new today.
Just wave to each other. I'm an expert now. So that's it. Now I know how to podcast.
You're going to be so good at podcasting. I think it's going to be a really fun experience. The podcast is evolving. We're calling this one
Yep.
season 2. I keep saying that because if Ben sucks, I'm just going to have a 3rd season with a new co-host. If Ben's great, the season 2 will just go on forever.
Why wouldn't we just continue to have different seasons with me as the co-host?
You know, I'd never thought about that. Look at you already being a look at you
Look at me,
already
I'm such
being
an
an expert
optimist.
on podcasting.
I know. I do. I feel so, honestly, I thought there was a lot more to it, but this sounds so easy.
I'm gonna be real.
This
I
is
broke
why
it down.
everyone does it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as hard as it could be. It's also like could be a lot better, right? Like there's a lot of ways to make this better. So my setup used to face that. That is actually like soundproofing, like foam.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't like the setup over there, so now I moved over here. And so like you learn like all these different things about like how you like the way that you look, how you like the way that like things play, how you like it sounding. Like I used to never wear lipstick, like ever, just in everyday life. I wear lipstick on every fucking episode because I'm like, I look fucking pale unless I'm wearing lipstick. So like you just learn about yourself. Yeah. I look pale no matter what I do, but like without lipstick, I look really pale. Like
I don't like that. There's no filters on this.
It's called makeup. You can start wearing makeup.
I know, and I have concealer. I'll wear it next time. And I straightened my hair because I ran out of defrizzing cream. And then again, no one cares. I do want to get more of I want to get those foam things I put on my wall too, because I feel like I can use them also as like a bulletin board.
Yeah, I mean it's not really serving its purpose then, because if you put things on it,
that's true. I just face
you could just get a bulletin board though. You know,
I don't want one. No, I don't want one. I want something that's versatile.
But as we get into it, you'll learn more. You'll learn your preferences. You'll learn on what I don't know what Bex recorded on, but like I'm pretty sure she did it all like much less like money than I did. So
that'll be me too.
Yeah. I also just did my budget the other day and like was like, this is obscene.
Yeah.
So okay. Cool. I am excited to see where we go. I think we're gonna do a lot of different topics. I think what's gonna be exciting is that like what was hard about season 1 was always having an expert. We're still gonna have experts sometimes, but having an expert every episode really narrowed down like the amount of topics that we could do. So I think we're gonna really expand. We're gonna go look at a lot more things. Ben and I are gonna write notes for each show. I'm not even gonna lie, I use ChatGPT for this one. So
love it. I'm gonna use ChatGPT too. It's been a good friend of mine.
Honestly, what I did was I just kind of took a lot of its like bullet points and like removed all of its like, because it was really wordy and I was like, I don't want to read this word for word, and I just took its bullet points and then I just kind of ad-libbed on it. Which thanks. So there's another pro tip. I think that there's a lot of I've heard like you can get AI to edit your video now and stuff. So
that could be something
really
to look into.
Definitely. Yeah. So once we monetize, like Bex and I always talked about this, the podcast currently costs money every month, right? Like, so once we can monetize, then we can get to a point where we could like utilize one of those softwares, or you pay somebody else to edit it or whatever it is. But right now we're working at a deficit. So until we can one day monetize, we are going to just be doing what we do.
I love it. I know it's just like a fun little thing, and I get to see your lovely little fucking face every day. Or not every day, maybe like twice a month, bi-monthly. Red is bad.
We're gonna see each other more often. Well, we are gonna record a bunch in a chunk, so that we can start editing and working on other pieces. So we'll see a lot of each other coming up. And then, listeners, I'm glad the last episode was not the last you saw of us. And I'm glad that you get to continue working with us, and we're looking forward to the future. And Ben is gonna become an expert with us.
I'm so excited. This is going to be a super fun adventure. So thank you for thinking of me, despite it being a drunken night.
Well, thank you for not letting it die, because I didn't want to do it by myself again. And I just,
of course.
Not again. I didn't want to do it by myself. And so I'm really excited to have another co-pilot. And we love Rebecca. We miss Rebecca. Maybe she'll come on as an expert one day, but I'm excited for the new journey.
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right,
exciting.
everyone. Stay curious, be experts, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of We're Experts Now. We couldn't do this without you.
If you like this episode and want to support the show, like, subscribe, and comment on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And pass along your favorite episodes to your friends, your family, coworkers, random people you meet on the bus, and just about anyone you think might want to be an expert too.
Have ideas for something you want us to investigate? Then send us an email at we'reexpertspod@gmail.com. That's WEREXPERTSPOD@gmail.com.
And don't forget to stay curious.